What's going on, guys? First video here, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I figure everyone else is making videos about their life and getting paid to do it, so might as well see where we can take this. I'll start off by saying my name's Brock Mazzucato. I guess this first video will be a little introductory to me and my life. So if you guys can handle listening to me ramble on about myself for the first video, then you might get to see some cool things if you keep on following. I live a pretty all over the place life, hence why I never really had the time or energy to use it, I guess, making content about myself. I talk to myself enough. I always felt like it was really weird to videotape yourself talking to yourself. So I never really got into it, but always felt like I wanted to get into it, just never really knew how. So I guess this is where we're gonna start. I'm gonna play a little bit of GTA 5 just to kind of keep my eyes off myself while I do this, because I still feel like it's a little different at first. I don't know. Hit me up in the comments and let me know if you guys had any difficulties starting up, I guess, when you're doing self vlogs or that kind of stuff. So I don't feel like I'm like the only one, you know. So anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Brock, obviously. I'm 25 years old, born and raised in Kirkland Lake, Ontario. Go KL. I live here, got a house here. Family's from here for the most part. Small little mining town, if any of you guys know where it is. Out in the middle of, kind of between North Bay and Timmins, if that helps you out. Out in the Quebec's way, kind of off the grid, I guess. Anyway, small little mining town, so hence my background is really revolved around what I've grown up around. My grandfather was in the mines. My uncle is Jumbo Man, and my cousins are all miners. My dad makes explosives for the mine, so that's kind of where I got my introductory into the stepping stones into getting the mine. I was never really big on school. Always had decent marks. I just never really had interest in sitting around class listening to what someone had to say, considering I was never really one to take directions from people. Really good at memorizing, so I did good on tests and essays and shit like that, and because I could memorize whatever was put in front of me and just kind of spit it back out on the paper. But I never really felt like school was where I needed to go. All my friends went to university, or most of them went to university or college, and I just never really saw myself doing that route. Not saying it's a bad route. I think it's, for a lot of people, it's the route that they need to go, but just not my kind of way. So I decided, actually took a year out of high school, just dropped out completely after volleyball season was done. I went to school for all the sports and whatnot. I did my bare minimum in classes, showed up when I had to, and then got in the assignments that I needed to, just to keep on the sports teams, because I was always big into sports and whatnot. But after that, just never really cared too much. So volleyball season finished up one year, and I said, yeah, I'm not playing basketball. And it was after I had finished up I grew up playing hockey in this town, so it was after I finished off playing hockey. So I didn't have anything really going at school. So I dropped out for an entire year and went snowboarding with one of my best friends. He was working at the mine at the time, dropped out of school to go work at the mine, and he was doing really good. So we took every day he wasn't working, we would go to Canasuta and go snowboarding. If any of you guys know, Canasuta is a ski hill between Kirkland Lake and the Quebec, actually just on the other side of the Quebec border between Kirkland Lake and Rouen. But yeah, we snowboarded every day. If we weren't at Canastota, we were building snow parks and like small little jump rail setups and stuff around town, and just typical like teenage small town shit, right? Yeah, so never really won for school. So right after, I did get my high school diploma. I actually got my major French diploma as well. I'm fluent in English and French. J'ai des difficultés à trouver des mots. So I have a hard time finding words and putting them together in sentences because I don't speak it enough, but I understand everything. So like if someone's mouthing at someone off in French at work and they can't, like I can pick up on that and give them a little, hey man, you know, buddy's mouthing you kind of thing. But other than that, like I said, school was never really my thing. I right out of high school, as soon as I graduated, actually before I graduated, I was working for my dad, making explosives at it was a place called Nordex Explosives at the time, no longer Nordex, DPC, great company. I actually still work for them, not full time. They're my I kind of go there when they need an extra hand here and there, either blasting or working around the plant and whatnot, right? Great group of people, and just awesome place to work for. But it was my stepping stones into the mine. I worked for there for a couple of years, and my uncle gave me an opportunity and took my resume in, and sure as hell I ended up nailing a spot at Macassa, Kirkland Lake Gold Macassa site, where I started out tramming. Fun stuff. Moved up real quick. I did a lot of overtime, man. Like, I mean, the mine's in town, right? And I live in town, so I was going through a lot of stuff, breakups and whatnot, and I wasn't really in a good place emotionally. I moved back in with my parents to save some money. I moved out real early, and anyway, I moved back in with my parents to save some money when I started at the mine. So my way of dealing with my anxiety and my depression and all the fun things that you go through in life, my way of dealing with it's work. So when times get tough, I just kind of deal with my problems through physical work. I was doing a lot of overtime. I moved up real quick, actually. Within a year, I was working on the shaft crew as a cage tender. If any of you guys know, it's like an oversized elevator that brings guys underground and gear and whatnot. So yeah, I did that for another 3 years. Meanwhile, I was working overtime and doing all kinds of other stuff for my overtime shifter, kind of whatever they needed me to do on my overtime days, and then back to the cage for my regular crew. And yeah, anyway, COVID happened, and I don't know how much I could talk about what happened. All said and done, we got a layoff pretty much with a severance package, and that's all I can really say. But from there, I went contract mining. I went back to Nordex for a bit there. They took me back and let me work full time for a couple weeks there, and ended up taking a job out. I worked for Legcore for last summer. I was raising a tailings dam, which is pretty cool for Alamos Island Gold through Legcore. Great group of guys out there, again, just contract work, eh? So I think I got hired in June and our contract ended in October. So took another layoff, and from there, again, went back to Nordex. They just keep taking me back because it's a love relationship between me and them. They're great employers to work for, awesome people. But anyway, ended up taking a job out in Nunavut last December. Yeah, last December. I took a job out in Nunavut as a blaster for. It was for Dyno, but it was through a subcontractor who. Yeah, I guess I can't remember their name. But anyway, went out there for a month. It was crazy. It was beautiful, but some wild stuff out there, like 24 hours of darkness out in Nunavut. I think we got like maybe 2 hours of like the sun just cresting over the horizon a day. So for me, someone who needs to be outside and like moving around and doing, like, it was a good job, but not having sunlight impacts a person a lot if you have depression, actually. And I was struggling a bit with that, but it was cool. The guys were good. The job was wild. I actually really loved it. Like, I got to blast some crazy rounds. There was the last one that I did out there was 500,000 tons of iron ore we blasted. It I think it took like a week to load, or like 5 or 6 days to load, or something like that. There was like 600 holes drilled, like big holes too. I mean, like fucking 8-inch diameter holes, 13 meters deep. So I was in charge of making some explosives out there. They got their own plant out there. So I made some explosives, and then we would load it on the bulk truck and then go up on top of the mountain and load the bench holes. So if any of you guys know anything about mining, especially pit mining, essentially what you're doing is you're benching. Benching is like you're taking the ground that's underneath your feet, drilling down, blasting that out, and then mucking that and refining it and whatnot, right? So did that for a month. I was out there for one run. It was 3 weeks in, 3 weeks out there, and I just something about being that far from home, being that cold, being that like, it was just wasn't really my forte. And so I ended up getting a job for Technica at Kid Creek. I went from minus 40, 100-kilometer-hour winds to, sorry, I mind blurred there. I went from minus 40, 100-kilometer-hour winds at the top of the mountain some days to like plus 30 degrees with like 80% humidity and crazy heat down there. I mean, you're 10,000 feet underground. It's the closest to the center of the earth. Like, some mines are deeper as far as like the hole, that the depth they're at, because they start above sea level, but we were the deepest mine below sea level, so we're closest to the center of the earth. And I mean, it was a wild place to work. Great experience, great group of guys. I actually when I went out there, I was, for the first week or two, they didn't pay travel at all. And I live in Kirkland Lake, so I don't know if you guys know where Kid Creek is. It's just past Timmins, a little further, about half an hour from, not even, maybe 20 minutes from Timmins. But anyways, it's like a 2-hour drive for me every day. And I did it for a week. It was like $60 a day in travel. It was just getting ridiculous, and they weren't really paying me that good for what we were doing. So I said it's not worth it for me, and I ended up actually staying in my truck. I chose the worst week in the world to stay in my truck. I got some clips there I could post later if you guys are interested in them, but I stayed in my truck for an entire week. It was the coldest week of the winter. It was like minus 30 to minus 40 on average, like somewhere in between there. And yeah, I actually camped in the back of my truck all week because I didn't have anywhere to stay, and I was new there and I didn't really know anybody, and like I said, travel was too expensive, so I just kind of toughed it out. And I was lucky enough, a good buddy of mine, I met him at Kid. His name's Clint. Won't say his last name just because it's his own, it's none of your business, but anyway, he invited me. I stayed at his stayed in his garage, his heated garage for the rest of my time at Kid Creek, which was awesome. Like, I was so appreciative. I have a house in Kirkland Lake, and I got a truck and all the toys and stuff like that, right? So I have a lot of debt. I make good money, and I keep up with it for the most part, but you know, things get expensive, and especially if you're not making a lot and traveling, and you end up spending more than what you make. So he was kind enough, him and his family, he's got 3 kids and a wife there. They were kind enough to take me in and let me stay in the garage for the time being, and I had a great time. Like, we were all, it was awesome living with them. They were all amazing people, and still to this day, we keep in touch there. And I've only been out to see him once since I left. Unfortunately, I don't really have too much time to myself. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I took a job, quit there in May of this year. Took a job at Heart Gold as a bolter. So now I'm a bolter. Pretty pumped. It's hard on the hands, hard work, but it's very fulfilling. Makes you feel like you accomplished something. When you come up at the end of the day, you just sweat your bag off all day. Haven't had any time to eat, and you hammer down a full round, or in the stills, hammer out 3 rounds a day sometimes. It really makes you feel like you're doing something. It's a whole other world down there, and it's really cool, but not something I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I love mining, don't get me wrong. So like I said, I was kind of born and raised into it. Really good. I think I'm a really good worker, and I have a lot of confidence in my capabilities at work. But like I said, I understand what it does. You're killing your lungs, you're killing your hearing, you're killing your eyes, you're killing everything about yourself. My hands, I can't feel my hands half the time. Especially after 2 weeks. Like we're on two weeks in, 2 weeks out there, and 2 weeks is a lot of time to be bolting, man. It gets to be a lot. But so I know that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I'm looking at my escape plan, I guess, on how I'm gonna get out, and how I'm gonna be successful in other means other than breaking my body and slaving away for someone else. So hence why I'm gonna start, I guess, trying to create some footage and create a fan base, and kind of share with you guys my life, whether it's the goods or the bads, the ugly. I feel like my life is very roller coaster. Like, I give you a little bit of background about myself. Actually, I have Tourette's. I've been diagnosed with Tourette's plus syndrome, and if any of you guys know what Tourette's plus syndrome, you'll understand kind of what I'm going through. And for those of you that don't, it's all right. You don't need to understand, but if you want, I'll give you a little insight. So Tourette's plus technically, I guess, encompasses. So you have Tourette's, which are your tics. Like I got a blinking tic. I always blink like ridiculously. I fidget a lot with my fingers and my hands, especially when I'm nervous or I'm going through some things. I do a lot of, I'll like pace around the house while I'm on phone calls, or like I do a lot of weird little quirky things. But Tourette's plus encompasses OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. I have very, very ridiculous OCD. It's weird because some days my OCD, like some things don't bother me, and then other days it's the end of the world if I don't do it. It's weird. It's like I'm diagnosed with it. I know some days it's very, very in your face, my OCD. Like I'm aware that I'm being OCD, but other days it's like I don't even have it, and it's weird. I don't know. It comes day to day. So yeah, it comes with that. There's ADD, attention deficit disorder. So ADD is pretty much like if I'm not interested in what's going on, I get very easily distracted. Hence, like, I don't know, like sitting in class. If I was ever sitting in class before, I was always one to like turn around and talk to my friends, or like do little things to like bug people. I don't know. It was just I couldn't focus if I wasn't interested in what was going on in front of me. So I get very easily distracted. So that's my ADD. And then ADHD also comes with it. And if you guys actually decide to follow and keep up with my my footage and all my clips and whatnot, you'll see my my ADHD come out. It's some days I'm very high, some days I'm very low. There's no real in between for me. I'm either in a really good mood or I'm in a really bad mood. And the weird part about it is it's never like a day-to-day thing with that either. It's not like one full day I'm in a great mood all day, or one full day I'm in a shit mood all day. it's really like fucking, like sometimes minute to minute, sometimes hour to hour. It really depends on my, I guess, what's stimulating me around me, or what's going on inside my head. I feel like I'm happy, and I'm more of myself. I'm more of myself when my mind is busy, when I'm doing things that challenge me, and not necessarily like problem solving, like real world shit, like more or less like I can be myself, and I'm happy when I'm physically exerting myself. So like sledding, dirt biking, all of these things that make me focus on anything but my thoughts. I feel like that's when I'm truly myself and I'm truly happy. Right now, like I'm stressing myself out, even talking to myself, talking to you guys. My hands are sweating, and I'm really trying to fight through getting off this and deleting it and not posting this somewhere. I really feel like I'm my biggest self-doubt when it comes to vlogging or my own personal stuff. Like I feel like I'm really hard on myself, and I really want to get over that. I feel like I have a lot of good thoughts and good opinions. A lot of the times I think either I don't know how to express them properly, or people don't take them how I mean to express them. I'm very straight up. I'm honest, and I feel like a lot of people these days don't necessarily admire somebody who's willing to stand up for the way they think. I feel as if a lot more people are drawn to people who kind of do whatever is going on, like whatever, they kind of follow whatever everybody else is into. And I've never been one to shut up, Lester.
Don't say anything. I don't know you, or maybe I do. I don't remember. I got a job that's so hot we're gonna bury it in an ex-government facility under about 100 feet of desert. You think you're up for it? Buy the facility on Maze Bank and I'll meet you over there. This is bigger than any bank job we could ever pull.
Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. See, EDD, can't keep a train of thought going when something else is going on. Just weird shit. But yeah, I forget exactly what I was talking about. Oh, getting over my self stuff. Yeah, this will be the real test. I mean, if I post this, then I post it, right? It's this is me talking to you guys for 23 minutes, I guess, kind of about myself, which is something I'm not really into doing, but we're gonna see, I guess, and see where it goes. I think I'm gonna make these probably half hours to start, and just see where it goes. If you guys like them, then sweet, and if not, maybe. If you don't, I'm open to criticism, right? Like if you have any ideas on what I should talk about, or what I should, what my channel should be, and feel free to comment away. I know some of them are going to be ugly, and some of them are going to be mean and whatever. But honestly, like I work underground. You really can't get a tougher skinned group of people. Like, it's really hard to offend somebody who works underground. I mean, you guys can throw at me whatever you want about my looks, my appearance, and whatnot. Like, I've already heard it all. I find the underground really separates the fucking the guys who are gonna go home and cry to their parents, and the guys who are just gonna kind of take it like a grain of salt and just brush it away. So comment away if you guys feel like there's anything I could do to improve, or maybe get a better following, or I'm open to ideas. I'm not necessarily going to change my my approach to this just because you say to change it, but I'm definitely open to ideas, so feel free. Let me know too. Like I said, guys, I dirt bike and sled, and I got a timber sled kit on my dirt bike, so I actually run that a lot more than I actually touch a sled these days. I ride my snow bike and then I ride my dirt bike all summer, so I'm kind of on the bike 24/7. So I think I'm gonna start posting more vlog videos about my trips with the boys, like sledding or biking and whatnot, and maybe some. I'm no mechanic myself. Like when it comes to trucks and whatnot, or like diesel equipment or anything big, I'm not interested enough in it to get into it or to say I know anything about it. But what I am good at is tearing apart dirt bikes or sleds and getting those things back up, or modifying like small engines, like shit like that. Right? I can work with that. As long as I can take it apart once, I'm usually good to do it every time. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see some small engine stuff, like upgrades and whatnot that I'm doing to my bike or the track kit, or like I said, videos of me sending myself off. Like I love jumping my bike, so if you guys want to see some videos of me fucking sending myself off jumps or dumb shit, then let me know, and I'll make sure to include a couple clips in each video. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll make a vlog, and when I'm not vlogging while I'm riding or with the boys about our riding, maybe I'll make vlogs about anything and just post a cool video at the end of it, just to keep you guys interested. But yeah, so there's I got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left before I hit a half hour of me rambling on about myself to you guys for the first time. So I'm just gonna finish it off, I guess, by saying, be nice to people. Like I know everyone's got a chip on their shoulder, and everyone's got shit going on in their life, but like unnecessary rudeness or meanness is like, just doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't do any good for you. And it's just like it's not nice, man. I've been through a lot. I've been in some places. Been in the psych ward, actually. Opening right up to you guys today. I was in the psych ward for a bit, so that I've seen the bad side of life at a young age. So I'm trying to be optimistic about everything that's going on around me, and I've been struggling these days with depression and figuring out who I am or where I belong in this place and time, especially considering how they've got us handcuffed here with this whole COVID bullshit. I know a lot of you guys are going to be mixed emotions about COVID, because I live it day to day. I'm very, like I said, I'm very opinionated, and I honestly think the whole COVID thing is a big old scam. I think a lot of very high-powered people are making a lot of money off of our suffering right now, and I feel as if we've given up our freedoms. I feel as if we're just kind of handing it to them on a silver platter, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't agree with the vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not saying some vaccines aren't good for you. I'm not saying that vaccines I'm not saying that they're not necessary, but what I'm saying is the fact that we don't have a choice whether or not to get the vaccine or not. If you want to live your normal life that we had before this COVID pandemic, if you want to get back to that, you need to vaccinate. And I feel as if that right there is the main trigger as to why I say no, I'm not getting vaccinated. The fact that they're pushing it, the fact that they're really driving it in there that we need this in order to be okay is absolutely absurd. Sure, I'm sure there's going to be a shit ton of people commenting saying like fuck you, COVID's killed my family, this and that. And I'm not saying there isn't people that have died from COVID or this form of flu or whatever the fuck this is, okay? I'm not saying I know everything. What I'm saying is I disagree with the way the healthcare system and our government has has went about this COVID scare. I feel as if people die every year due to flu or due to all these natural causes. Like, it's just another day, man. Like, it's just another fucking flu. Like, sure, it's better, it's more chance of more people contracting it, but what are the death ratios of this thing? Okay, I've heard of people who have died from blood clots due to complications in the vaccine and all. Like, you're risking your life, people. If you're risking not only your life, but you're risking your freedom. And I think the day we said we are, yeah, I will wear the mask. I'll wear the mask, and I've done it myself, man. Like, I'm not fucking innocent. I'll just put the mask on to avoid fucking confrontation, because, like, you know, it's easier just to not fight with people. And I feel like the majority of people that are on the fence or that have gotten the vaccine, or that, I feel like those people who are on the fence about it are just saying, yeah, whatever, let's do this, just to be done with it, man. And to me, that's really sad, because, like, you're essentially giving up everything that our ancestors have fought for: the freedom of speech, the freedom of body autonomy, the freedom to be able to do essentially what you want, where you want, how you want, as long as it does not affect other people. I feel as if we have given up all that freedom because of this COVID, and it's scary, man. It's really not. I hate thinking about it. That's what I don't even know why I'm talking about this, and I know, like I said, I'm gonna get a lot of controversial fucking comments about, oh, this is fucking, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're the reason people are fucking still, we're the reason you're still in this fucking pandemic. But I'll tell you guys this right now, okay? During COVID, when all of you fuckers lost your jobs, and when all you guys were too fucking scared to go to work, or to you guys were all taking the benefits from the government. The government's going to give you money, and oh, we'll bail you out, we'll take care of you, this and that. While all you guys were sitting at home and enjoying your free time, guess who worked overtime? And guess who took all those sick days that someone else was calling in sick because they're scared to come in because of COVID? You know who was working through those? We were. And the fact that now you can come in and say, you're not allowed to work unless, or you're not allowed on company property unless you're vaccinated, yet I was still allowed on company property while I was unvaccinated during the pandemic, and I still had to continue working and providing for everybody else. But now you're telling me that I can't have a fucking job if I don't get vaccinated? That's bullshit. I never had a choice back then. I didn't have a choice to stay home and sit around and do fuck all and feed off the government like a bloodsucker. So why are you telling me that I can't come into work now when a few months ago I was the only one showing up to work? It's just, it's strange. It's not right. And I have this weird, eerie feeling about it. And I can't shake it. So no matter what you're going to comment or say, it's not going to change my opinion on the COVID. Feel free to comment and say whatever you got to say. I'm open to conversation. I'm very open-minded as far as if you want to try and teach me something that I don't already know, I'm more than willing to accept it and to see your point of view and understand maybe where you're coming from and the scare that you have. Like, I'm not saying you're not scared, or I'm not saying your feelings towards it are invalid, but what I'm saying is I disagree with how they are going about this. So yeah, say what you got to say, but that's what I have to say. So if you guys are interested in more, feel free to hit that follow and like, and stay tuned. Like I said, I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, so I got kind of plenty of time to vlog. I just always doing things. So I'm going to start taking the habit of setting up a video camera while I'm doing things and making some content. So like I said, hit me up. Let me know what you guys want to see, and we'll go from there, I guess.